ChairShot Podcast coming at you here. It's the original triangle of madness. Barry, Paul, and Joe coming at you with a whopper edition of a show covering a whopper pay-per-view from last night. It just hit me there. Do you know what? As we were getting ready to broadcast here, boys, it just do you think the beautiful ChairShot maniacs out there who like this show? Do you think part of what they like about it is that it's out on Mondays, so they can start their week off right with, oh, it's Monday, log on, commute. But hang on though.
Wait a minute.
What's this on the old podcast app? It's only the boys. The boys are coming in hot with an All Out review. What?
I think so. I think a lot of podcasts seem to drop like Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, I was just thinking, now that I think about it, I don't think I have any podcasts that drop before Wednesday that I listen to. I think they all, at the earliest, they record and release late Wednesday American time.
Yeah.
And so by the time, so for me tomorrow, when tomorrow's workday kicks off, and I'm trying, Monday morning, give me a good podcast to listen to. I've just got the bitter end of the beer bottle. I've got the podcast that I didn't prioritize last week to listen to on Monday morning. I go, that's sad. Maybe I'll just put an episode of Beavis and Butthead on instead.
We're not afraid to work Sunday nights.
No,
I mean, most of these podcasters, they're like, don't call me at the weekend. Call me Monday. I'm busy. Yeah. It's like, no, when shit goes down, you've got to be ready to jump on the old Blue Yeti and lay down some thoughts. What's transpiring?
Oh, dearie me. Well, we do have we'll jump straight into the pay-per-view action from, the pre-show kicked off at 7 p.m. UK and Irish time. And it seems like that was very positively received. Seems like TK made some allusions on the presser, and it seems like Meltzer also alluded on Observer Radio. You know, there may be a, not groundbreaking, but it might have been a tangible business boom to the European aspect of the business based on it being on at a reasonable time.
And it's something we discussed 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
or anyone was talking about that. That's fun.
And I think because like we know from like the various international pay-per-views in other territories that the Americans also like watching them earlier in the day as well. Like they don't have a problem with watching a pay-per-view during the day. I know from like going to an AEW pay-per-view that even in their time zone, it's not great. Those shows end at like 1 a.m. It's not great. I think it's like in real time, I think it's nice if they end at not like 9 p.m. your time. So we'll see what comes of that. Did anyone watch the pre-show? Did anyone watch the tailgate brawl thing?
No,
I did not. I was busy watching the footy, I'm afraid.
Well, you missed nothing. I would say it was about the level of a YouTube pre-show. The fact that it was on TV.
I had the tablet on in the background, and the Garcia-Shibata match looked good.
Yes,
what I saw. But I haven't gone back to rewatch yet.
No, that was a genuine. If that match was on Dynamite, you would have said, "Yeah, good Dynamite match, good fun." It would have been, but not worth not go out of your way to watch it. But a perfectly fun TV match. Garcia slotting very nicely into his new heel role, good stuff. Everything else, I mean, the Ops versus the Workhorsemen house show match. Hobbs doing the multiple scoop slams gimmick, gets JD Drake up for the slam. Everyone cheers. I mean, that is pretty much it. Likewise, the 6-man tag with Hologram again, house show match. When they initially announced it, I was all about the 8-woman tornado tailgate brawl, which was the kind of a no DQ tornado match. Willow, Mina, Harley, Yamanata, Bane, Ford, Hart, and Sky Blue. You're thinking, right, 8 women, most of them pretty good, no rules. AEW Women's Division weapons match. I regret to inform you, this was like straight out of 2009 Raw. A completely tonally bizarre match for AEW to do. The babyfaces came out. I know it's tailgate brawl, I get it, but the babyfaces came out in like amateur football gear. They did a snap to start the match where they like hiked a weapon to each other. They were hitting each other with salad tong. They had like tailgate, like food party stuff ringside, so they were hitting each other with salad tongs. Mina Shirakawa. Oh, they did it. Well, the biggest non-reveal ever. They did the Nathan Fielder, I hope you're hungry for nothing. Mina Shirakawa pulls out a barbecue. Everyone cheers. Oh, she opens it. There's nothing in there. And they didn't set anyone on fire with it, which was very disappointing. And they were hitting each other with like styrofoam from ringside. It was shockingly bad. It was shockingly bad. I like, you could have put these 8 women in just like a normal AEW brawl and it would have been great. But someone put their hand up in a creative meeting and said, "Oh, tailgate parties, they have like salad and potluck and they and it's, you know, we could do a little riff on that." And they should have been shouted down and told, "Shut up. No, we're not doing that." Yeah. So very disappointing, very, very disappointing, but whatever. I mean, it was a pre-show, whatever match. Maybe
there was an element of it being on TV that they're like, well, we have to do something shit for the casuals.
Yeah, and also they announced it, and then they were kind of like, "Oh, we've got like 800 weapons matches on the pay-per-view. We can't have them also going out," which I think was one of my minor nitpicks of this show. Was I mean, was there a match that didn't have a table spot on it? We're back to AEW being the table promotion.
MJF was the biggest face pulling the tables away.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I've had
show kicked off proper with, I thought this was an interesting decision to go on first. I guess in some people's eyes, it was the real main event, the Cope and Cage first time teaming in Canada for however long they were, whatever the number they were throwing out, 15 years, I guess it would have been. Versus FTR went on first, keeping up with AEW tradition with the title match going on last.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go so far as to say I actively disliked this, but I wouldn't say I liked it. I thought they were having a perfectly fine match that I was like, this is going well. FTR doing the FTR thing. They're cutting them off, working them over. And then the second half of the match just became Cope brain, baby. Cope brain had to kick in, unfortunately, and a lot of antics that I didn't care for, including, and I don't care if this makes me a stick in the mud square, doing John Cena's spots. I know they're like career rivals and it's his retirement year. I'm like, his match is opening their pay-per-view to counter-program you, brother.
Yes.
Maybe do it on Dynamite. The crowd started chanting Cena at one point. I was like, what a cut! Like, I couldn't imagine a worse. I mean, talk about bad instincts. I thought that was. I was already thinking the match was kind of like good, but not really up to anything special at that stage. Then that happened, and I was like, they kind of lost me there, to be honest.
The issue as well was that got the biggest pop of the match. Of everything they did.
And it kind of foretold one of the bigger issues with this pay-per-view, which was that I think the crowd wasn't very good and they felt like a WWE crowd. They were massively into Edge. The second half of the show, I think they just got into the matches, to be fair. But first half of the show, it felt like a lot of reacting to entrances and finishers and not a lot of reacting to anything else.
Yeah.
And like it felt like the biggest stars on their entrance were like Edge and like Mercedes Moné, i.e. people who were like, oh shit, I haven't seen Sasha Banks wrestle in 5 years,
Right. I mean, my experience of the match was that it went through the gears from first to second to third.
Yeah.
And then like Christian hit a spear and won out of nowhere. I'm like, wait a minute, do we not still have 7 minutes to go here to, really ramp it up?
Abrupt finish.
About to finish, that was also true of the second match, which we'll come to. But
yeah,
and actually a latter match, which we'll also come to. But it felt like it didn't get treated with the old epic match template that often these matches do. Especially FTR's matches lately, they've had some real bangers with Outrunners and Adam Priest and Tommy Billington. Like, who would have thought going in, the FTR matches with Outrunners and Tommy Billington would be better than the match with Edge and Christian in Toronto?
Yeah, but I think that thing you just hit on there, it not having your traditional kind of great FTR match in particular structure. I think that's kind of where it gets into what I was saying about like it being Cope brained, because They did all the legwork early on, your standard early match stuff. And then when it came time for the exciting stuff, it was then time for capital M moments to happen. You know, and you know, whether you like Beth coming out or not, you could then be additionally nitpicky depending on how much you dislike something. You could maybe get annoyed at the fact that, did we have to play her music? Did she have to do a full entrance during a match? Your mileage will vary on that, but even if you put that aside, I mean, even just the fact that the match was kind of centered on her coming out, like, you know, I think I would have rather they just, because the Forbidden Door match was good. I think Cope and Christian just doing, you know, would give Cope a lot of stick. I think if they just did a match, I probably would have liked it more than this thing, you know. Because they do the thing again. To me, it's just so WWE. Beth's music plays for like 30 seconds without identifying who she was, and then her name comes up on the screen, and then everyone pops, and I'm like, okay, you are doing this thing that I was about to say everyone, maybe it's just us, that was certainly I dislike about wrestling, which is that everything becomes completely secondary to the entrance and the graphic and looking at the screen and a person coming out, and it's not about you know there's great matches on this show, but look, I thought Beth looked good, and she came out, she tackled Stoke. But I had a thought as she came out. I don't think I've ever liked real life couples doing the on screen couple thing. I hate like the WrestlePalooza match. I mean, less than no interest in real life husbands and wives teaming. I've always thought it's corny. On the indies, whenever it would be like they'd wrestle each other, and there was this thing, like Gargano and LeRae used to do that thing where they'd wrestle each other and they do chain wrestling, and the comedy, like, oh, they know each other so well. Ugh, so lame. No use for that at all.
It's worked once ever.
When would you say that was?
Macho Man saving Elizabeth.
But they weren't. But my problem specifically is them doing matches as like two like workers who do actual matches.
Yeah,
like
any pairing of couples on screen.
Yes, I have never had any use for it ever. And when Beth came out, I was like, okay, if she is coming in as a legend and she does 3 matches, she wrestles Hayter, she wrestles Tony, and she wrestles, I don't know, Mercedes or whatever, I'd be down with that. I always liked Beth. I think that'd be cool. I have less than no use for a pay-per-view match where it's Cope and Beth versus FTR and whoever.
No,
less than zero.
Cope, Christian, and Beth against FTR and Stokely. That's what the match is going to be.
It's going to be, oh God, it's going to be like a comedy match. Oh, I didn't even put that together, but you're right. So the big thing then here, of course, was after the match, after Cope and Christian won, they spike pile drivered Christian, and then they spike pile drivered Beth, which just completely hammered home that, yes, if she does do a match, it is going to be with them in a mixed tag capacity. I mean, I've just, you know, I think we were all kind of in on this feud for the last couple of weeks. They kind of were righting the ship somewhat, and this match I'm kind of back out on it.
Yeah.
Not FTR though. I mean, I'm still in on FTR, obviously.
Yeah. When Beth came out, I did think for a minute, are they going to do the Cody thing where she's just Beth because they can't call her Beth Phoenix? Because it just came up on the screen. Beth.
Yeah.
I know, I laughed at that. But then they said Beth Copeland.
The commentators did, but the graphic definitely did just say Beth, which was kind of funny. I mean, I suppose, yeah, Beth Copeland, I guess. They've kind of, I feel like they've kind of, Beth Cope. I feel like they do say it's something. They've kind of eased off his name being Cope.
Yeah, like, he was Adam Copeland here as well.
He was Adam Copeland. He's been Adam Copeland for a couple of weeks, so I think they've kind of like, they'll use it for shorthand very occasionally. Those first couple of weeks, though, where he was just Cope, constantly Cope, graphics said Cope, that was kind of silly. So I think they've kind of pulled back on that one. So there you go.
Maybe you saw like a rundown and saw that Moxley is actually listed as Moxley and not Mox. And he's like, wait a minute. John Moxley? His name was Max.
So that feud will keep going, I'm certain.
Yes.
Big Bill versus Eddie Kingston. This is a bit of a downer, unfortunately. As Big Kingston heads came out, got a good pop. Again, this is another Toronto moment for me. He certainly got a good reaction, but it did not feel like, if he
from the hot crowd, this would have been
if he came back in Chicago or New York or one of those other towns, like, they had a match. It was a complete collision hour 2 match. Just had a match. South spots got a little bit ugly, but they kind of recovered well. Big Bill kind of lost him a little bit on the boss man slam, but recovered kind of well. And then, unfortunately, they did not recover well from him just completely missing the back fist. I was kind of shocked after they had the wherewithal to not do the pin. So Big Bill dropped him on the boss man slam and then just started doing like stacked punches because I'm not going to go for a pin on that because, of course, why would I was like, that's kind of clever. It's like, but then to go to the finish after the biggest whiff on a back fist you've ever seen in your life, this was a surprising whiff, I will say, as someone who defended the way this match was built up. And I like Big Bill generally, but this was not... this wasn't very good at all.
I'll give Big Bill a compliment on this one.
Go on.
I thought he was like the perfect Eddie Kingston opponent here. Granted, as you said, some things in the match kind of fell apart. But in terms of the pacing, I think Big Bill's playing to the audience in between and kind of dragging the match out gave Kingston a lot of time for two things. One, catching his breath in that.
Yeah.
But number two, really dragging out the like sympathy that Eddie Kingston, gets from the audience so well.
Yeah.
And the salad, I'm getting back into it here. And I was like, oh my God, Big Bill, and the way that he drags out like his playing to the crowd gives Eddie Kingston so much time to do the things that he's best at. And I thought I was like, oh my God, Big Bill's like the perfect pairing for Eddie Kingston's return here. Granted, the crowd was not very good. Granted, 2 seconds after I said that, he nearly dropped him on a bossman slam, and then Eddie Kingston missed him with the back fist. Nevertheless, I thought Big Bill, in what he was doing between the moves, was very effective, and that allowed Eddie Kingston to do what he does. But yeah, then the carrying out of some of the moves did not go so well, unfortunately.
And I was kind of worried that this show was heading down a very bad path because the first two matches weren't doing it for me, and then the double whammy after the match was the artists formerly known as the Learning Tree, I guess, were beating down Eddie Kingston. And who comes out to save him? And I was unified in Toronto and not giving a shit about this. Hook comes out to save him. God. I mean, I know we've talked about it a lot. I don't think there's anyone I'm selling more stock on than Hook. I'm completely out on Hook. For a number of reasons.
The corny bat symbol, the fucking music.
The bat symbol's so bad. It's a classic. Like, it was cute once when they did it, and of course they've had to run with it as a gimmick. The music is awful, but also it's just like it feels like he peaked as the silent seventh member of Team Taz 5 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It just feels like I think the very early days of him actually wrestling were pretty solid. Their TNT run, the squashes, the Action Bronson tag and stuff like that. That was good, but any time they've tried to do anything more substantial without him, it's been a huge dud in my opinion. And God, I felt bad for Eddie, this match not clicking, and then they're leading to a tag team with him and a Hook. Oof. No.
I was on the fence with the music for a while, because I think the song itself is actually fine, but it does not lend itself to a big old pop. The intro is too long. The intro is too laid back and unenergetic. And then when the kind of beat kicks in, it's also still too laid back and unenergetic. And Hook himself kind of strolls now. I mean, the Chairman's Intent song that he had previously, after a little intro, when it kicked in, it kicked in, baby. And that's where you get your big pop when Hook comes out. Oh, yeah, this one doesn't work. I fear someone needs to get into Tony's ear, as with the mean in music and all, and say, look, this Hook song is not working, brother. And I mean, I've been calling for Hook to change the character somehow, whether it's the look or whatever, for I feel like coming on a year now. Like, Hook is exactly the same character as he was when he was a kid. And he's not really a kid anymore. He's been around for years now, so we need to change it up a little bit. But yeah, I broadly agree. He's also been a dud on the old fantasy league for me. Only wrestled 8 matches this year, if you can believe that. Granted, he had the little absence, but even with he's only gone for what, a month and a half?
Yeah, it wasn't gone that long. Yeah, it
wasn't that long. 8 matches. Not great for him.
Thankfully, it was pretty much up and up from here.
I thought it was going to be Jericho, by the way.
I was also thinking there must be sure. I mean, Kingston and Big Bill in one match, surely. Jericho seems to be in the same camp as Baker in terms of Khan being asked about him, and he gives the polite non-answers about how much he loves working with them. I don't know what happened there. The last thing he did was he smashed that TV, wasn't it? He was like, I'm not gonna fucking take it or whatever it was.
He did a backstage, I think, after with the two of them, and that was it.
Yeah.
Which, look, if Jericho is not to return, he has more than, and I don't mean this in a patronizing way, but he has more than served his purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
AEW Hall of Famer, but you know, it's kind of like with Cody. The last year was not good watching.
No, and I'm sure there would be some very short-term gains for bringing him back. I'm sure there'd be mild interest initially, but he's gone away and come back and repackaged himself so many times just in the lifetime of this company that I feel like you've run out of road there. And yeah, should an AEW Hall of Fame ever become a thing? I mean, he's the first one who goes in easily.
Yeah, him and Sam.
But no, I don't think there's much use anymore for that. MJF and Mark Briscoe in a tables tax match, which thankfully did not have like actual tables rules. This was basically just kind of like a death match. This was basically just like Mark Briscoe instantly covered the ring in thumbtacks. They based the entire first couple of minutes of the match around like who's going to take the first bump and trying to stick each other's head in the tacks. They were both wearing white, so you knew it was going to be messy. And they had a great match as they are wont to do, as they've done in the past. Another great one for Briscoe's resume for the year. Lots of crazy bumps. They both bled. MJF's pants were looked like he was bleeding out of his willy. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but they both took all kinds of gnarly bump, and it was really great. As someone who kind of looked at that stip and I was like, what even is that going to be?
Yeah,
it ended up being a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think they worked it in a very classic kind of hardcore way, not in the plunder, modern kind of cookie sheet and barbecues with nothing in them.
Yes,
it was very much like a proper match, but with the big spots being, I'm going to drop you Dinkle first into a big pile of tacks like that instead of going through a table or whatever. So I thought it was really good, really well kind of put together. And tacks, I don't normally, one of those spots that I'm kind of fed up with. I don't really want to see thumbtacks or as we call them, drawing pins. I think if it was a drawing pin match, that'd be even less scary. But but when there's a lot of them, it's like, okay, well, that looks quite impressive.
Yeah.
There's like 100,000 of them. Go on then. I'll allow it. Very good.
Yeah.
A bit surprised by the finish. I know you kind of posited this very, you'd think it makes sense that Briscoe should win, but then MJF's losing a lot and it feels like he should be protected. So it was kind of like, well, I'm just going to win. I guess it makes sense for Briscoe to win. Interesting what they do with MJF. So I feel like he's still going to be maybe the guy to beat Hangman. I still feel like that's ultimately where they're going to go.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they get back to that.
I think with Mark to win, I mean, he had to win with the Jay Driller, right? Because that's what the story was all about, was about Jay. I like you, Joe. I liked just the sheer number of thumbtacks made it feel a bit more death matchy than just, as you said, we get a bit numb to someone bringing a bag in the ring and they do a slam on the tacks. But when the whole ring is tacks, that would be, this is a gimmick. I would maybe drop the tables aspect from it and just do, like, did Tony say in the press or something like 10,000 thumbtacks? That to me is a cooler branding for this kind of match.
Yeah.
And maybe even have like the two guys standing in the corners and the referee and the ring crew kind of, ritualistically dump the tacks in the ring and then the match begins. That would be a cool visual as well. And yeah, I like the head into the tacks. That's not something I've really seen as explicitly as that before. And tacks in the back of his head, tacks just everywhere. My God. Really, really cool visuals to this match. just in terms of the pure scope, how many tacks were involved. Table spots, less so, but the tacks were cool.
So interesting results. We'll see if maybe we'll get a little Mark Briscoe pusheroo for a pay-per-view cycle. We'll see. Segue there into the newly christened The Demand. Bishop, Tony Owen and Ricochet versus the Hurt Syndicate, including MVP. There's always like one or two of these on every AEW pay-per-view. This is another one that was, this was basically a team match.
Yeah.
Hurt Syndicate were like, you think we don't like doing jobs? Well, get a load of this. Our 50-year-old manager is going to not only do the match, but he's also going to work most of it as well.
But also, the two wrestlers are 50, so...
That's also true as well, yeah. God, they look great, though, to be fair. Lashley, I don't know if you can use the term prime for Lashley. It's pretty much just his life. He's just always looked like this. He's always been absolutely gigantic. They did a hilarious spot where Ricochet was like punching his abs and he wasn't moving. This was all right, even though it didn't feel like a pay-per-view.
Ricochet showing off the lats as well.
Yeah, they had some fun. It wasn't must-see, but I thought this was all right. It was all right.
It was all right. I think this is the first time me seeing MVP where I was thinking, yeah, this guy maybe ought to be their manager.
Yeah, I think that's a good role.
I think it's all right. He can still do the odd match. It's fine. Probably TV match, not pay-per-view match, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny, he's only 1 year older than Shelton Benjamin.
Yes.
18 months older than Bobby Lashley.
You wouldn't know.
So Ricochet gets his win back for not the win back, but gets his win for MVP, humiliating him all those months ago.
Oh, the way back then.
Which kind of started this current Ricochet character, so there you go.
Yeah.
Mercedes defeated Riho in a match that I feel like in another building would have been a proper upper echelon. I thought the work here was really great, but this was perhaps other than Mercedes coming out, they were getting nothing from the crowd. And in defense of the Toronto crowd, we did talk the last couple of weeks about how Riho just returned after 2 years and she's had one win on television. It's not real versus the 10 belt undefeated 1 year, champion.
Right.
It was, I thought they worked really well together though. I thought Mercedes getting the rare chance to be the bigger wrestler and fling a person around and elbow the shit out of him. And I really I would like to see him run it back on maybe one of those Dynamites in a small building with a hot crowd. I think they worked really well together.
I thought Rio's great, isn't she?
Yes, Rio's great. I don't know what it is.
This match.
I don't know what it is that keeps her away from TV regularly. I guess she is not a US based. I guess she does split her time, but surely we could get more of her than we do. I guess not.
Just her whip when she's doing, whether it's a sunset flip or any of those kind of a head scissors, she just flies around. Her head was centimeters from the mat on some of these. And just perfect execution. My God. I couldn't believe how good she looked at this. And of course, Mercedes was there the whole way along with her. Yeah, really top stuff.
Really good stuff, yeah. I was kind of thinking going into this, I was like, this is such a, with all due respect to Riho, who we're all fans of, this is such a non-serious challenger for Mercedes. I kind of felt like, surely someone comes out afterwards. A returning person or something. Nope. And especially because they stuck with the camera on Mercedes for ages to watch her going up the ramp, and I was like, someone's coming out. And
I would like AEW to do a bit more of that, to be honest. They do not do a lot of that at all.
Yeah, and I would just
take it from the New Japan style.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It works. I was just really wondering what they do next with Monet, or not what they do next necessarily, but who takes this title from her, especially because they
let me put my bucket hat on here. Mina wins in a 4-way.
Well, I don't know. We've kind of moved away from one of these women's champions who's been on top for a very long time and has kind of done everything. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. I just don't know what the end game of this is here, but I guess we'll see.
I guess the idea is whoever beats her get the rub, but then she just beats everyone for so long.
Yes,
that inevitably, rather than the person beating her, and this is true, I think, of the match we're going to talk about shortly, the person beating her doesn't necessarily get a rub. It just feels like, what? That's it.
Yeah.
All the opportunities you have for that rub moment, she just beats them.
Up next, we had the Unified International and Continental title three-way match. Okada defeating Takeshita and Mascara Dorada, who I guess was like, all right, everyone, if the sole purpose of me being in this match is to do the job ski, because you're building up these two lads and you don't want one of them pinning the other, then I need to come out of this match looking like the coolest motherfucker in the history of the biz, and I'll be damned if he didn't.
Okay, Dorada, we'll do that, but can you also make the other two lads just look class as well?
Like, well, he was. I mean, plus, and also, I doubt we're going to do a Dynamite review because it's ancient history at this stage. But I mean, him in Mortos was fantastic. What a week this guy had. So much so that this match was so good. Okay, I like 2/3 of the way through, I was like, I'm still fairly certain Okada's winning, but I think it'd be like getting this guy as over and letting him do all this crazy stuff because he's like, they want to quietly move the title off Okada so he can face Takeshita without the political ramifications of that, and just let them have a series of matches and he's actually going to win. I didn't think it was a chance of it happening, but I was watching, I was like, fuck, this match feels like, even though the story is Okada Takeshita, and they did lots of cool stuff, we'll mention that in a second, but it really felt like, it's like, fuck, you're coming out of it thinking this guy is the business. I mean, he's so good. But yeah, every little stare down between Okada and Takeshita though got a great reaction.
Yeah, this was the match to wake the crowd up. Everything after this was good, but Takeshita hit the best Blue Thunder bomb I think I've ever seen in this match as well.
Yeah.
Oh God, this was tremendous stuff. Okada had the work boots on as well. Oh baby, that Okada Takeshita match. If I gotta take all that you got. I'll take all of that you got. And let's get Dorada in, get him to one of the Hechicero contracts, and let's do something with him as well.
Oh yeah, the old split time, that'd be pretty good.
The old split time,
Yeah, so they did a million things. We couldn't even begin to recap all that.
Yeah, the double Frankensteiner.
The double Frankensteiner was bananas. Also, one of those 3 ways that really everything flowed really well. It was not, they did little teases where it was one guy out of the ring and the other two would kind of pair off briefly, but lots of 3 guys bouncing off of each other in real time in this, which was a lot of fun. Okada did eventually Rainmaker Dorada for the Pinsky. Yeah, so there you go. John Moxley defeated Darby Allin.
Unbelievable, this result.
I was surprised by this. I was also surprised by the circumstances in which it happened. So they're having a great match. I suppose we'll talk about the match in a second, but the big newsworthy thing is that Darby has it won ostensibly, and then it's a person who, because of the way the angle that it was shot at originally, the camera angle, you couldn't quite see this person's height. For some reason, I thought it was Wade Barrett.
Like Wade Barrett. That's exactly what I thought.
I was like, oh my God, Nikki Bella got him fired for shit talking or whatever happened there a couple of weeks ago. I already can't even remember. And I was like, is that fucking Wade Barrett? I also saw people say it looked at first glance like 2006 Austin Aries.
Oh God.
Which would have been funny. No, it was haircut, be-shirted Pac. The man was wearing, he looked like a default character in like GTA
clothes, which you're so used to.
Just like black pants and a plain black tee. It was crazy. It was absolutely bizarre. Because it feels like this guy's constantly leaving and then doing surprise comebacks. This one felt way more memorable because you'll always remember it as the time he came back during the coffin match with the new look. And that run-in facilitated Moxley to win. Yeah, I was surprised by that result, I will say.
Especially after the bag spot. That felt like, full circle. And then Darby wins.
I mean, this has got to build to Darby winning. Hopefully, maybe it's Wrestle Dream. Maybe it's the 1 year anniversary of the kind of big Mox Death Rider angle. Darby has to beat Moxley. Maybe it'll be some kind of fire-based match. I don't know if an Inferno match, but I feel like some kind of, I don't know, petrol match. You get to use petrol on your opponent. Something like that. It's got to be.
Pac looks cool, by the way. Looks so fucking cool.
No, absolutely, yeah.
But does it seem that, like, Danny Garcia just joined the Death Riders and now they have a new, cooler, shinier member?
Getting a bit crowded, aren't they?
They're getting to Dan Callis. Yeah. But yeah, this was cool, but I do feel like you gotta have Darby fucking win one of these. Come on.
Yeah, I think so. Because I thought he was winning this as well because I thought Mox beating Garcia as much as he did. I was like, wow, okay, they're really pummeling Garcia. And then he turned heel, and I was like, okay, I guess that kind of makes sense, but that's still a lot. Like, I know you'd build Mox back up post losing the title, right? But I was like, all right, he's gotten a lot of wins. You've kept him relatively strong. It feels like Darby's moment. I don't know. Again, Darby's not a guy you push like Goldberg, but I think much like Mark Briscoe, at a certain point, just for the audience's sake, you have to have the guy win. He has to get redemption. Is he going to be kidnapping people and doing comebacks and making silly videos forever? You know, and then always losing them. And maybe he is. Maybe he's going to be that kind of guy. Maybe he's going to be he always loses the big one type of guy. I don't know. But match was insane. I mean, as you know, the two fucking idiots. Respectfully, two fucking idiots. They were fucking stabbing each other with forks. Darby's fingers getting slammed in the casket hinges. Moxley setting up the casket on the outside. Darby suicide dives into the box. The two of them that was great. Loads of great stuff. Pac like awesome bombs Darby out of the ring onto a coffin. Absolutely murdered each other. Moxley again, another pay-per-view where he let Darby just stab him in the head with the fork over and over and over again like a madman. God, it was funny.
Darby had that bag on his head, which Moxley then, Danielson must have been feeling real stupid when Moxley was like, you can just tear this open, mate, very easily.
Yeah, he did the thing that everyone says when they watch a movie where that happens to a character. He goes, why don't you just poke your fingers in your mouth and get it off you that way? Before he did that, though, Moxley's head, because it was so bloody, in that plastic bag, it looked like a rotisserie chicken from Tesco. It just looked completely absurd because he was bleeding so much that Darby has the bag in his head and it's just orange instantly. The bag is just orange and red and steamy on the inside.
Oh, gosh.
So you could feed a family of 5 at that head.
Not as big as it used to be, though.
No. So yeah.
Good little match.
Good match, yeah, really good. Yeah, you knew
they fucking coffin, idiots.
I was kind of worried because when they first started doing spots with it and you could see it getting a bit shaky, I was like, oh God, I hope they don't have any stuff. Like they did a spot later on where Darby, like he did the Sting style thing where he used the pipe to block casket. I was like, oh, we don't have too many more hinge-based spots to do because it's not really holding on very well.
Yeah.
But
well, they had 2 coffins, so
they did have 2. They had a spare.
They had a Moxie coffin and they had a Darby coffin.
Yeah, this was great stuff, as we knew it would be. So yeah, we'll see what comes next for them. I don't know at what point of the show this happened. We'll just talk about it here. So they carried the Darby off in the coffin. Then later on, they did a backstage segment where Darby broke out of the coffin.
Well, first Moxley was like, you guys all drive away. I'm going to commit this murder on my own.
yeah, in front of the camera.
It's cool.
Just the cameraman, you stay. Yeah. Darby gets out of the coffin. Before he went into the coffin, they put him in a bag. So he gets out of the bag. He puts Moxley in the bag. He douses Moxley in the lighter fluid and sets him on fire. I if I wasn't so lazy, I wanted to edit together a little clip of when that happening, and then the audio from Kane setting JR on fire from like 2003 or whatever that was.
Yeah.
So they security came in and put out Mox, and there you go. So I think we might be doing some kind of fire thing. What can you do that's not absurd though? Like, are you going to do if Kane loses, he sets himself on fire type thing?
No, I'd just have like Inferno match, but use the fire as like a cage that you can't to stop the rest of the Death Riders getting in. You know?
Yeah.
They did WWE. What was it called? It was called like a they called it something else.
Ring of Fire, was that?
Was it Ring of Fire?
Bray Wyatt did one of his first people.
That's what I'm thinking of. Bray Wyatt.
And what you do is, right, Wheeler Yuta dresses in one of those fireproof suits to get in the ring and starts attacking Darby Allin. And then Sting repels from the ceiling. He's like, fucking back at Yuta. Boom, take a Moxley. And then, I don't know. There you go. There's an idea, Tony.
What about a good old-fashioned flaming table match?
Yeah.
Flaming tacks.
Flaming tables and tacks. And stairs.
Just the tacks themselves are on fire.
Up next, we got the women's world title 4-way match. Chris Statlander, Toni Storm, Jamie Hayter, and Tekla.
Shout out to Tekla Amanat Dynamite, by the way.
Oh, that was good. Yes,
which was criminally underrated by Meltzer. But not
what did he give it?
3.5.
Ah, fuck off.
3 3/4.
Coward.
It was class. It was class.
We are Tekla and Amanata stock buyers here. Absolutely. I thought Tony was going to win this, but I was kind of thinking, again, kind of like the Dorada thing. I was like, well, like they're obviously doing something with Tekla. Like they're kind of getting my feels like, maybe like 20% maybe Tekla wins. 4-way, she won't pin Tony. Blah blah blah. I genuinely think if you asked me at the time, I probably would put Statlander last in my prediction of who would win. First of all, this was another match that, like, on a very long, not a very long, but on a long show. This is only 12 minutes. I think it felt like it was just getting going, and it ended, which hurt it. The big thing here, I mean, the Statlander thing felt out of left field because they haven't exactly been pushing her super hard. But it was the big key thing was that she won with the seatbelts pin thing that Wheeler Yuta. Yeah. So she didn't explicitly turn heel, but the story here basically is that she got the big one. Using his toothless. So is she
indirectly by him?
Is she going to join the Death Riders, or what are we going to do? So we'll see. It was good. I like Statlander, but I feel like this felt a little. This was also another match that was just the angle was Tony just said, let's do a 4-way. So I would have liked a bit more
climactic.
A bit more panache on a a big title reign like this one ending. You would have liked a bit more. I would have, especially since she pinned Tony. Couldn't you have just done a single? Couldn't you have just done Statlander gets a couple wins, challenges Tony, and then
Statlander maybe win? Earns the title shot through some
sort of ranking
Death Ridery or Death Rider kind of involvement somehow.
Oh, maybe like Yuta helps her get a win. She actually
so then when she wins, the title feels more kind of paying off of that.
Very odd, but as great as Tony is, I am kind of thinking like she can be a big star in the division without the title at this stage.
100%. But I just feel like Statlander has really.
No, she hasn't.
It doesn't feel like the star power is transferred to
Statlander
in a meaningful way. Whereas if Tekla had beaten Tony, as you said, I feel like would have felt more impactful, maybe.
So we'll see where they go with Stat on Wednesday. She is trivia buffs first woman to win the world and TBS titles. Mm-hmm. So there's your pub quiz night trivia. If you go to a pub where that comes up in the pub quiz, by the way, please text me and let me know where it is. This sounds like a good pub. So yeah, also Tony is
the first person to win the TNT and men's world championship.
Joe.
Oh, no, it wasn't me.
Of the Samoan variety?
I think it must be. I'm trying to think.
I think it must be. MJF, Swerve, Mox never had a TNT. Jericho never had a TNT. Hangman never had TNT.
Wardlow, no, I don't think anyone else. Christian Cage, Adam Copeland, Jack Perry, Daniel Garcia, Adam Cole, Bay, Dustin Rhodes. No.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Good shout, Samoa Joe. Staying up. So Joe and Stat, your history makers there. AEW World Tag Team Title Match, 4-way ladder variety. Brodido retaining over Jet Speed, Hechicero and Josh Alexander, and the Young Bucks. 25 minutes. Let me just say the thing you've probably heard on 10 other podcasts this weekend, listener. They did some cool stuff. It was fun. I am bored of ladder matches.
Yeah.
Am I going to remember in 3 years' time that this is the match where Kevin Knight took the mad bump where they lifted the ladder up and scooched over to the edge of the ring, which was a great spot? Probably not. I mean, that's not an original take, but it is certainly my stance. Also, this again, I would have sniffed 10 minutes off this and given at least some of it to the women's 4-way. I don't think we needed 25 minutes of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was good. I mean, they did some cool stuff.
I like this a lot. I think I like this more than you guys. Because there was stuff in this that felt logical, as opposed to there was very little setting up of stuff to do moves on. It all kind of worked. I especially like the bit where Brody King hit the pile driver on the ladder, and it broke, and then sprung back to life. Yeah, I mean, I thought there was great stuff in this. So, yeah, I agree. It probably could have been a bit shorter and a bit more time given to the women. But as far as these multi-man ladder matches go, I thought this was one of the more enjoyable ones.
Yeah, ladder match.
Yeah. No, I do agree with Paul. Yeah, I did like a lot of it, but it's just... There's something about them. They're just so overdone that it's like I start at like negative interest and they have to work extra hard to get me in. And they did stuff. I think it's also just kind of like, we've seen so many of these matches that like I remember the first time I saw like Nick Jackson's, oh no, I'm being pushed off the ladder. Oh, I actually landed on the top rope and springboard. It's the coolest fucking thing ever. But I think I saw that for the first time 15 years ago. And I've seen it a couple of times a year.
Tremendous, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think that might have been the first one. The other thing as well is every wrestling match has those little moments where, people kind of forget where they are. It's a very split second type of thing. People kind of refine where they're going. Yeah. I find those so noticeable in these ladder matches because it's those spots where like one team is holding a ladder together and they're basically doing like a fiery babyface comeback but with a ladder, and so everyone's having to slowly climb into the ring because only one can be in at a time because the other team is waving a ladder around. And I find those spots so contrived and awkward. It's just, I don't know. It's just, we're just kind of over it. But they did work hard. They did some cool stuff. It certainly wasn't bad. We got a rundown for Wednesday, including Tony Khan's big announcements.
Oh my God. Sorry. Before we go on to the big announcements, we also had post-match.
Oh, sorry, I'm jumping. Yeah, again, this is what I get.
And actually, before that, we actually had earlier in the show, Jerry Lynn backstage with two singles lads whose singles runs have just not gone very well. Yeah. Put them back in that tag team that people liked. And then we did it again here, twice on the same show.
This is good. This is fine. The other two, the Acclaimed, just don't bother.
Yeah, I think it's funny to I think it's good to talk about them both at the same time because they had a segment where Jerry Lynn, I mean, they've been doing this on TV, but he's basically like, you two get back together and let's see if he can make something happen. Which in kayfabe I can understand because Max is always losing, but in reality I'm like, I think he's doing perfectly fine on his own as a humorous little jabroni. Obviously it's a jabroni, but like he's a fun part of the show.
Yeah, he's being sacrificed because Bowens wrote us.
Because Bowens is the one they actually want to push and is completely like negative momentum. So they did that segment, and then they did this segment here after this match where Jack Perry just walks out from the crowd and attacks the Young Bucks, which they'll have to kind of explain that because they were on the same page last time he was around.
They've been building on BT little bits and pieces.
I intentionally do not know that.
I'm letting you know.
So they get the upper hand on him, 2-on-1 advantage. He does his little Jack Perry smirk, and they play a Lucha Underground vignette where Jack Perry is putting
the vignette from his return from a different point of view.
Mm-hmm. It's like Saw. One of them Saw movies.
Oh, yeah. It's like the end of Saw where you realise...
Find out like...
Oh, he takes off the mask of Jack Perry. So yeah, Jack Perry is like putting Venom from Batman and Robin film into Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
I mean, I realized they had the vignettes from the two perspectives, but this quite obviously was undercut by the fact Luchasaurus has been back for a couple of weeks. Obviously, Nick Wayne getting hurt completely threw them off, and they were planning to just do this.
Yeah, I think so.
At the very least, they got the throwing away of the kill switch belts, which that was good. This one, I will say, they obviously like Jack Perry. To be fair, a lot of people, because his heel singles run was so bad, and it was so bad, I'm not going to defend it. I've seen a lot of people throwing the baby out the bathwater and acting like he was never good, and this team was never good, and he wasn't a good babyface. I think that's bollocks. I think that's also, there's also a degree of punk derangement in there, because people have made him their antichrist because of the punk thing. Jack Perry did plenty of good stuff. The tag team was fun. I think the company obviously loves him enough that they're not going to cut him or whatever. So if the happy medium is just to regress back to the tag team, okay, I'm like, whatever. I think that's harmless. I think it's some depth on the tag team side. And also while he was injured, the Christian thing kind of moved on without Luchasaurus, so that kind of worked out. The Acclaimed, I feel the opposite about, because if you'll recall on this very show, before they split up, we were like, please fucking God, break these two up. This is so far past its sell-by date. Everyone's over it. Nobody cares. They're dead on arrival. Just because the singles things don't work, I think going backwards is so the wrong direction for the Acclaimed. I think that's going to further cement their
shittiness.
Exactly. It's actually, and again, it's going to take the one thing that they actually kind of have at the moment, which is the Max best wrestler alive thing, and it's going to take that, because you're going to put the stink on him of this team that was people were bored of. You broke it up, nothing happened with the two of them, and now you went back to it. I think this is a very bad direction. I'm kind of hoping it's just a I think the clever thing to do here is they do one match and then Bowens turns heel on Caster and kills him, and he should also kill Billy Gunn. If Billy Gunn's just gone, he should fucking kill him. He should fucking kill him, and that and write
you
him
mean
off.
In real life though?
No, in the AEW universe, so he can then go.
He should bring out a giant thumbtack and then put.
One with the world's largest thumbtack.
It's melt down all those thumbtacks into one big thumbtack.
It looks like the Space Needle from Seattle.
Drop Billy Gunn head first onto it.
And then he can go induct Stephanie into the Hall of Fame or whatever he wants to do.
Oh my god, I was very sick when I saw that.
I think that's just it must be leading to that. It must be leading to the Bowens heel turn, because he also comes off like an arsehole in all the segments. That's not accidental. I'm sure they're going to have the common sense to do that, but we'll see. And then we got the tease of the big announcement. I can't remember what the last one was. I remember it being pretty disappointing though. Because he doesn't do these as often anymore, and I feel like the last couple haven't really hit. Once again, we do this every time. People are immediately assuming the women's tag titles. I would hope so.
Yeah, I think it'd have to be something like that.
I think that'd probably be it, but that's a bit weak for a Tony Khan announcement.
Yeah,
should be something big. Should be like new TV show or new deal or I don't know, something.
All those people who I keep off TV, I forgive. They can come back.
Tag titles. Man, okay, fine. Get rid of the trios belts.
Well, I mean,
one in, one out. Get rid of the trios and you can have your tag belts. There you go.
Yeah, and I think they those trios belts, they should be cool. They're on the Ops, who are a cool team, but I mean they just disappear into the ether. You don't see them, you don't think about them. So I would like to see them. I would like to see them do something with them, but they've had them for like nearly 3 years, and they've done nothing with them. I think they should probably be quietly gotten rid of. Yeah, melt them down to make the women's. So that was that. We will see on Wednesday what the announcement is. And then the world title match. Adam Page retains over Kyle Fletcher, just under 40 minutes on this one. An incredible match, a match of the year contender, IMO. And as we discussed on last week's show, which way would they go? They actually went in the conventional. We said nobody would be interfering, and so nobody interfered. They went that route, which is an excellent 1-2 punch with just how good the match was, because I think this will probably be a crucial chapter in the Kyle Fletcher story that they come back to, like when it's time for him to be turn babyface, you know, and possibly become a world title level guy. I'm certain they will allude back to Hangman. Hangman will say, "Oh, we had that match. It was so good. You came so close, and you did it on your own. You could have called on help. You could have got the Calcium in, but you didn't." And I gotta say, even outside of the context, just in general, in the broader context, it was just nice to have an AEW main event that was just two guys going hell for leather, two excellent wrestlers going hell for leather for 40 minutes, and just the better man won, you know?
I did have a Vince Russo thought here.
Go on.
A real creative sicko thought here. This obviously wasn't the right time for it. But maybe in the future, I was thinking, you know, the stipulation that they wrote into the contract was if Don Callis or anyone from the family interferes, Fletcher would be stripped of the TNT title. That if Fletcher was going to go over, you could keep that stipulation and lure the fans into a false sense of security with Don on commentary. Hey, I can't interfere. I'd love to interfere. I can't. And then right at the end, right as you're not expecting it, then Callis interferes. Fletcher wins the world title and says, "Fuck, I don't need a TNT title anyway."
Yeah, that would have been. That would have been.
It down like whatever.
That would have been funny. Then you just have to bin the TNT title in.
Yeah, well, if he's the world champion, he can whatever. But my plan was to do the world title. I don't care what it's even. I'm the world title. So maybe keep that in the back pocket for a future title win for somebody.
So that was...
The match was class, though. Sorry. The match was... I mean, Fletcher has it. I think it's without doubt now. This is their next up-and-coming guy.
He's the next one.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think he'll be among the first round of draft picks for 2026. I'd be surprised if he wasn't.
Yes.
I'd be very surprised if he wasn't. He has it in every...
I'm Claudio again.
we had exactly the same teams.
Claudio. He's my Briscoe.
Yeah, but I mean, loved it. Loved it.
Absolutely brilliant. Great heat as well. Again, this is one the crowd were into. So brilliant. And a good end to a great pay-per-view and in bed by 1 a.m.
I think this was one of the best. Sorry, just to close out the match. One of the all-time best. You know who's winning.
Yeah.
World title matches. Because sometimes they can kind of. I know Hangman's winning, so this is just we're going through the motions here. But this match had it all.
So that was the show. And I don't know where we're at on where Dynamite's heading next week, but we have the announcement. We got a couple of matches already announced as well, so hopefully keeping the momentum going. Before we jump into more wrestling chat, though, any life guff from the week, boys? I've had absolutely no life guff. I haven't left the house really at all, to be honest. What have you boys been up to?
Hey, in my mum's kitchen.
Go on.
It was Friday.
Boy.
It's not a very big kitchen, not too much, but I've painted quite a bit now, so I've finally got to the point where I realised that doing all the preparation actually makes it twice as quick. Before I was like, right, get the paint out, just slap it, start slapping some paint on a wall. Now I'm like, no, what you do is move everything out, you tape all the edges.
Get the painter's tape, yeah.
You paint as tape, then you do your cutting in around the edges with tape.
Yes.
It's quicker.
You get the roller out.
It's about 3 times quicker than just slapping the paint on. Then you finish up with the roller, and that takes about half an took it's about 4 or 5 hours. So yeah, it looks really good, really nice. So
awesome.
She was very happy to the beginning.
What colour did you go with?
It was China blue. So kind of almost a violet kind of colour, but like muted violet. Yeah.
Good kitchen colour.
Yeah. Looks nice.
Nice.
Yes.
No painting for me. I did get we made a list of things that the apartment still needs, and I've ordered a few of those. Bought some in the shop. Bought some cereal bowls, a little mirror for the bathroom, ordered a bin, a proper sized bin, which we still didn't have. We have the old black bag in the corner jobby, which that's not very sustainable. And a little oil-filled heater, because our heaters still don't work. So until I can get an electrician in, a little heater for the sitting room for when the evenings start to get a bit chilly. Get that in. But apart from that, not too much. Work was very hectic, so I was working late some of the evenings until like 7 or 8 in the evening. A lot of people work 7 to 8 in the evening. Shut up, Gervais. So that meant that in the evenings there was kind of, stick on a Taskmaster on the Thursday, Dynamite on the Thursday, watch a bit of the football in the week as well. And so not a huge amount of time for, like I said, went and still did a little bit of shopping to get some stuff for the place, which is, I would say, nearly at 95% livability. Like I say, still want to do the kitchen, still want to do the bathroom, but in terms of moving in and having, everything arranged and set up, I think we're pretty much there at this stage. But that's about it. Not too much else to report.
Alrighty. Well, life golf was fairly short this week, guys. Back to the wrestling. What's the fantasy update for the week?
There we go.
Okay, so it's another pay-per-view where Barry basically gets as many points as Joe and I combined.
Thank you, Kyle Fletcher. He lost.
No. Chris Statlander is for you to thank. 28 points for Statlander. I will say, I mentioned this in our little Discord chat as well. When we had the talk last week about what we were going to do about the tailgate show, being that it was on TNT, where typically we count pre-shows as part of the pay-per-view. I was going to come to that conversation and say, even though it's on TV, for me, it's still part of the same show, right?
Yeah.
So that I would argue that even though it's on TV, we keep it as pay-per-view. You guys, without batting an eyelash, were both like, it's on TV, fuck it, it's TV. Then it's TV, it's TV. And I'm like, okay. It was then announced the matches. Joe has like 3 of his guys on that pre-show. They all won. Yeah, Barry has 1. So you guys cost yourself 12 and 4 points respectively. I actually didn't lose anybody on the pre-show, so I was off. But
thing is,
keep that in mind.
On Cage Match, it's listed as Collision.
Well,
it's Collision 111 Saturday.
It is considered, I believe, officially
the longest TV episode of all time.
Officially, I think you'll see that technically the third hour of Dynamite last week was considered an hour of Collision, and this was considered the second hour of Collision officially, according to the programming guide from.
Hey, I'm happy. It didn't affect my points, but affected both of yours negatively. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'll be honest with you, Paul. I'm absolutely demolishing the two of you either way. So, don't count the show at all. For all I care, call it a house show if you want, mate.
Now,
100 points. Dear.
Barry is on 899 to my 748 to Joe's 670. So it is still kind of Joe versus Paul for second place, and Barry with the old hair having a nap up in front. So, the notable happenings from the PAPE, Joe's high score Mercedes with the retain, Okada from England. Keep in mind, I have Okada to Takeshita as well. So, you know what I mean. Might be some bonuses coming my way. So those points are not finalized. Nobody has Mascara Dorada, but I have Okada to Takeshita. Barry has Fletcher and Hanger. So, those points are subject to change. We haven't got the scores there yet. Joe has Garcia. Eddie Kingston, you might get -5, depending on how bad. Do we need to start adding negative scoring for like dud scores?
It's not a bad idea.
We'll talk about that in this hour. But Barry did mention in the week that he has a trade, but
trade ski.
I just wanted to, when we get trades in the week, one thing I'm first of all very receptive to is like if somebody can't be on the podcast, but you said a trade in the week, fair enough. But of course, when somebody returns or somebody appears, there's obviously got to be demand. So I think we talked about before the idea of if more than one person wants to trade somebody. So of course, when you make such a trade, it can be challenged, is all I'm saying. So Barry, you can announce your trade. I will say on the record, it will not be challenged by me. But we also have to give the opportunity to Joe if he doesn't want to be involved. You know, maybe Joe will say, I only have one trade left as well. Me and Joe only have one trade left. So Joe might say, I'm not going to use my trade now. I'll keep it for later. But Barry, you have interest in a trade. Go for it.
I am I'm finally going to pull the trigger on getting rid of Kenny Omega. Because I think even if he does come back before the end of the year, I don't think he'll be a big earner. And I would like to grab one Orange Cassidy.
It's okay with me. Joe, any challenge?
No.
No. Trade's done. We officially ratify it. Where's my gavel? Trade has been officially approved. So Barry trades out Kenny Omega for Orange Cassidy. Would be very funny now if Orange Cassidy doesn't return and actually the tease was for somebody else.
No, that'd be so good.
Chris Jericho returns.
No, that'd be great.
But he's doing Orange Cassidy's gimmick for some reason. It's just the denim and the little thumbs up. Okay, Orange Cassidy for Omega is officially ratified. For Barry, you then have 2 trades left for the rest of the game. Joe and I have one each. I still will not do a trade this week, but as I said, Lashley, Cope, and Hook are my guys that I'm potentially going to look to maybe get rid of one of them. I mean, Hook for me, I know I've had him all year. As we say, he's been gone for like a little month. 32 points from 8 matches. I mean, he wins all his matches. Don't get me wrong. He won every match he's had. But like, come on, fucking 8 matches. Get up into the 17s there. Okada's had 17 matches, and he's a sleepy boy who doesn't rest. 8 for Hook. I mean, come on. We are now, notably, if you cast your eye to the file, our top 10 wrestlers all now have over 100 points. So we have crossed the threshold of 10 people with 100 points. They are in reverse order: Konosuke Takeshita, Mercedes Moné, Samoa Joe, Jon Moxley, Kyle Fletcher and Okada, Perez Hobbs, Will Ospreay, Tony Storm, and Hangman Page at the top of the page, ironically. So that is your fantasy update. Barry's made a trade, and we will see how that pays off on Wednesday.
Alrighty. We are entering the 4th quarter, I think it's fair to say, as we stare down the barrel of October. So, also to play for those C2 still on the cards, of course, as well.
Yes, yeah. So you got to keep a trade in reserve, given how that's going to shake out.
Alrighty. I've taken over the mantle for Wardlow this week.
My God.
I have one ready to go. Now, just to confirm with the question master Paul here,
please.
It's build height, build weight, age, TV debut, and starting letter. Is that correct?
That's correct. Starting letter per the Wikipedia article.
Wikipedia. I have that open here. I'm going to keep this individual's Wikipedia open, and I will get the Wikipedia search ready to rumble here for whatever you boyos suggest.
We got this.
So
let's get this in one.
That would be very impressive. I will say just criteria: active wrestlers. It's not a dead or retired, but active wrestlers: WWE, AEW, TNA. That's the pool, men and women. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would include in it New Japan, CMLL. I mean, for me, active is active anywhere. But I typically am not going to pick some fucking pre-show AAA.
Yeah, then Friday wrestle at the Crash next weekend.
Yeah, I guess the point of this quiz is not to try to catch you guys out. It's just kind of how quick.
No, of course.
You do the word. Like, I got the word in 6. I'm fucking stupid.
Did you get it in 1? Bring it in 2.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Where do you want to start?
I think there's 2 ways, Joe. We can play it down the middle. Or if you want to be kind of risky to try and get it really fast, we can kind of lean to one side or the other.
Let's take a risk.
Take a risk. Okay, let's think of someone, maybe someone who starts with like an R.
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton is, size-wise, age-wise,
quite up there. So
early debut.
If they're above him, height or age-wise, then...
Yeah. Well, do we want to pick someone maybe then in R who's maybe a little bit younger?
No.
Or does that kind of work because he's a little bit older?
We're going
a bit more extreme. Yeah.
Going
Okay, let's go. Randall Keith Orton.
Randall Keith Orton.
Yes, please.
Randall Keith Orton is billed at 6'5".
Oh, big boy.
You were looking for someone shorter.
Okay. That's not how it goes.
Randall Keith Orton is billed at 275. Really, wow.
Fuck off.
275. He's me old 275.
Well, I don't know. 2025 though. He's pretty fucking.
Yeah,
And I'm told I failed a wellness test. I was Hermano, can we look around the room, please, in this current 2025 locker room? But alas, we won't go there. Orton is 275. You are looking for someone lighter than that.
Okay. It's funny, just on a quick aside, WWE politically are in a place where they could very easily go fuck the wellness policy. We don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
And no one about an islet. How shit is that? How shit a world we live in is that? Sorry, go ahead.
Randall Keith Orton is 45 years of age. You are looking for someone older.
Older than 45. Wow.
He made his television debut, of course, famously in 2002. You were looking for a television debut after that.
Okay.
And of course, his Wikipedia page, he is billed as just Randy Orton, beginning with R. You were looking for a letter earlier than R.
Okay, it is earlier. But we did hit an older than 45 just.
That's good. So, I mean, they can't be... we talked about MVP.
MVP, Shelton, Lashley, Cope, Christian are all in the 49 to 51 range.
Schultz. Got Cena, Lesnar. They're over the 45, aren't they? Cena and Lesnar.
I think so.
Phil Brooks.
Yeah.
They debuted after 2002. I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not Cope or Christian.
That's true.
All right, rule them out.
Hurt Syndicate.
I think the rest earlier than R. So, I think. Could be not Shelton.
Not Lashley. Not Lashley. Not Lesnar. Because it's less than 275.
Yeah. Okay.
MVP could be MVP. MVP, I think, satisfies all of those.
Vontavious Porter. Could be CM Punk. Could be John Cena. Any other old farts? R-Truth. It's earlier than R. So that's
earlier
fine.
than R.
That's fine. Who else? Any other oldies with Jericho? Oh no, debut after 2002. When did Punk debut though? His TV debut would have been...
A TV debut 06.
Would have been ECW, wasn't it? I guess Cena also debuted 2002.
And it's after 2002 we're looking at.
Yeah, so no, not Cena. So really MVP and Punk. Any other oldies knocking about in...
I mean, TNA, you've got your, Kazarian, which you did. Eric Young. I don't know if Eric Young is still in TNA. Moose. But then Moose would be bigger than 6'5", I would think. Bigger than 275. Maybe not, but I would have thought he is.
I think we go MVP or Punk.
I think we go MVP. We go MVP.
We'll go Montel
Vontavious Porter.
Montel Vontavious Porter. He is billed at 6'3".
Yeah.
It is an exact match.
Oh baby.
He is billed at 259 pounds.
Yeah.
It's an exact match.
Oh baby.
He is 51 years of age. That is a match as well. He debuted on television in 2006, which is a match. And his starting letter is, of course, M for Montel, which is a match. Excellent job. Two. What does it say on Wordle when you get too splendid?
Sorry, when you got it, you got it.
When you fucking got it, you got it. That is spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. Well done. Two guesses. Dream team, Joe and Paul there. Montel Vontavious Porter Use your Wordle-ow.
Hey, when you don't play it down the middle, you get it.
Yeah, the high risk, high reward. It's like
I guess that's the lesson. Is go either with A or X. You know.
Well done, Joe. Good team.
Yes, well
done, boys.
Now that.
That's Wordle-ow for the week. Excuse me, as I burp into the microphone. Yeah, we won't do Dynamite this week. It's pretty good.
No,
3 hours.
And I'm an Adam match was great. The Masquerade, the Rata Beast Mortis was great.
Yeah.
I mean,
let's jump into our other guffs for the week. Who has seen a film this week?
Just one for me.
Go on.
We lost Robert Redford in the week.
R.I.P.
Great Robert Redford. So I coincidentally had picked some Blu-rays out of my collection that I haven't seen. So that, now I'm moved into a new spot. Grab some Blu-rays. I don't have a huge amount of Blu-rays that I own but haven't watched. Maybe I have about like 30, which some people will probably go, Jesus, that is a lot. But I have probably 300 Blu-rays or something. So anyway, had them alphabetized, and top of the pile, big old A, All Is Lost, a 2013, I want to say, movie starring Robert Redford. Just serendipity. Just happened to be the case. So watched that on the day he passed, and I thought it was a very good kind of appropriate movie to watch on that day, because it's also a movie that's very quiet and kind of, pensive, and it's a film about mortality. And I mean, the story is that Robert Redford plays a character called Our Man, who's a guy in a boat sailing across on his own, sailing across the Indian Ocean, when his boat crashes into, unexpectedly, one of those shipping containers that's just fallen off a bigger boat and is just there in the sea, and his boat crashes into it and is starting to leak water. And so it's a survival movie about this guy on his own. It's got very little dialogue in it at all, because who the fuck would he speak to? A fish or something? But with anyone else, that could feel very tedious. But Robert Redford has kind of this quiet reserve about him, this matter of fact, get to itness of, this has a hole in it. I got to get down there and start building it. Like, his character stays very calm throughout, very professional throughout. And then he falls out of the boat capsizes, and he's kind of trying to MacGyver his boat back together, try to keep it afloat and stay alive as long as he can. His sail breaks at one point, so he doesn't really have control of where the boat is going anymore direction wise, but he can track it. Using the sun and the stars and tracking which direction he's going. He can see, I'm going towards this shipping lane, but I'll have a certain amount of time that I'll be in the shipping lane. So if a boat's not there while I'm there, I have no way to anchor or kind of wait for someone to come along. And so there's a kind of ticking bomb element to it as well. So like I say, in any other actor's hands, this could have felt very tedious, but Robert Redford just had this kind of on-screen presence and charisma to him that made the film kind of be more engrossing and kind of more interesting. So yeah, I mean, I thought he was great. I thought the movie was very interesting in again, without saying much, showing what it does about its themes. Like I say, mortality and very, maybe I enjoyed the movie a little bit more on that level because the actor literally just died that day. But I found it very interesting. I found the way he played it very interesting. So maybe not a movie where you'd say, oh my God, the cinematography was so beautiful. But go and watch Robert Redford in his latter years. The other side of the coin would have been, maybe I could have stuck on All the President's Men or The Sting or something, one of his more famous movies. But to watch this kind of movie he made in kind of his latter years that is specifically about man's journey and mortality, just felt very appropriate, and I enjoyed it.
Nice. Yeah, I do want to watch some Robert Redford. I've never seen Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
No, me neither.
I do want to see that. Nice. I got a couple of movies. So Halloween's come a little bit early. As a consequence of Michelle being away for a week later than me, and me having to cram in horror movies while she's away. I watched Bram Stoker's Dracula, Francis Ford Coppola, which I've never seen before. Always kind of wanted to watch. It's a very, very silly movie. It's so camp, but very enjoyable. It's kind of camp, but like wholehearted camp, not like it's sort of camp stuff you get nowadays. Where
it's like high camp.
Yeah, high camp. It's like, oh, we're being camp. It's like, no,
elevated camp.
Yeah, they're just so fully committed to what they're doing. Like, it's like, it's perfect. It's not really a story to it. It's just sort of Dracula knocking about, biting women and getting younger. But I really enjoyed it. Keanu Reeves is a hell of a casting decision.
Baby, he is poop.
He's pretty bad. It's famous so much like the axe. He's kind of put down as one of the most famously sort of bad English accents. I don't think it was that bad really compared to some attempts I've heard. It was more just the actual acting. Like, I could have lived with him just doing an American accent. I don't think the acting would have saved it, but
it's a combination. It's the combination of the accents, but also his kind of whoa, yeah,
like anyone from kind of Dracula time would speak like that. Or this is set sort of 1930s, I think it is, or 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the cadence was not period accurate. He also does this thing that a lot of Americans do, where some of the pronunciations are very kind of posh British and some are very like Cockney, and it's like I saw here and I'm like, oh, that doesn't work. He's going from like very like Hugh Grant to kind of EastEnders in the same sentence. It doesn't work. But yeah, other than that, I think everyone has Gary Oldman sort of camps it right up, choose the scenery, very good.
Yeah.
And the style of it, all the choices of it were very good. So good adaptation. Kind of got me thinking about going back and watching some more called classic horror this year.
Right.
I think in previous years I've done a lot more kind of your modern sort of 70s, 80s onwards sort of horror movies, but I think going back, some classic like Hammer horror, Christopher Lee, Wolfman and The Mummy and that kind of thing.
Bela Lugosi.
Yeah. So that was good. And then I also watched Abigail.
Another vampire one.
Which I think Barry had reviewed that quite a long time ago. I never got around to watching it. It was on Now TV, so I kind of threw it on. Watching it, I didn't know that it was by the same team as Ready or Not.
Yes, yeah.
But watching it, I was like, oh, this is just like Ready or Not. This is basically very, very similar. And then it turned out it was, which is sort of good and bad. It's like bad as it feels, maybe too similar, but also good in that they've got a recognizable kind of style and tone. So it was very much in that vogue. I did like it. I thought it was a kind of a notch below Ready or Not, mainly because it wasn't that funny. They tried a lot of humor, but I didn't think much of any of it landed really for me. Whereas I thought Ready or Not was very, very funny. So that was a problem. I think the actual concept. So if you haven't seen it or don't remember, it's basically a gang of criminals kidnap the very young, like 10, 11-year-old daughter of some rich guy. They take her to this big kind of Baroque mansion where they're supposed to keep her for the night until they can do whatever they're going to do with her. And it turns out, I mean, as a spoiler, it turns out she's like some kind of vampire monster type thing.
I think I haven't seen it, but this is something that they spoiled kind of at the trailer.
Was
that something that was supposed to have been maybe hidden, but wasn't?
I think that's that was probably the twist, but really you can't market a film like that without mentioning that. Otherwise it sounds very boring, doesn't it?
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty much given up. But then it becomes, I actually really like the concept. I think the concept is as strong, if not stronger, as Ready or Not. I just thought the execution was lacking in terms of the comedy, but also the characters all felt like I didn't sense any kind of meshing or chemistry between the group of characters that they had. They're kind of okay individually, but overall, I just didn't really feel it. They had Marissa Barrera, is it?
Barrera, is it?
Marissa Barrera in the lead, who I quite like. She's in the Scream movies and since been kind of given the elbow. She's pretty good. I don't like Dan Stevens that much. I find him a bit campy. Catherine Newton's quite good, but actually I think she could have been given a more prominent part, because I really like Catherine Newton, and she was really good in like Freaky, and whatever other stuff I've seen her in. There's a couple of good cameos in it. Angus Cloud is R.I.P., but he was pretty bad. And it's pretty funny. So overall, I really like the concept. I think execution a bit lacking, but I'd be excited to see whatever they're working on next, because it'll be pretty good.
Alrighty, that all the films for the week?
It is.
That's it.
Alrighty. I wrapped up some telly I was watching. I finally finished The Penguin, which took me a fucking bunch of a year. Yeah. It was really good, despite me taking forever to get through it. I really liked it. I didn't love kind of the last 2 episodes. I don't know if it ended as strong as it was early on, but overall really, really good. One of the better kind of comic book related TV shows I've seen. I hope they keep it as just a kind of limited series. I don't think I'd want to see more. I think it culminates really well. After being kind of mixed throughout it, they kind of wrap it up in such as a way where you're like, oh yeah, this is not like an anti-hero. They give you a penguin character that is a villain, that next time he's in a movie, you're not going to have any doubts about whether or not you're rooting for him or not. It's all very well done. I don't think I'd want to watch another series. I think this current stretch of DC stuff is going quite well. I don't want it to become a Star Wars thing where there's 800 series and it all becomes watered down. But yeah, really enjoyed it. Very, very good, and deserving Emmy winner there. Christina Minotti for Sofia Gigante. Fantastic.
She was a standout.
She was incredible. So I would hope that she is in the Batman 2 in some capacity. Graduate to the big leagues and not just be relegated to the miniseries, but we'll see. On the DC front, I also watched the first season of Peacemaker, which is the John Cena.
Wait a minute. You don't want them to make all these, but you're watching them all.
Well, they haven't.
Barry.
No, but they haven't made a million of them. Is my point. They've made.
But don't encourage them.
And well, first of all, I'm pirating all of them, so that's one thing. I'm not going to do anything.
That's allowed.
But also, sorry, I'm putting my glasses back on again. I think you'll find that Penguin is part of the Batman universe, which is Elseworlds. It's actually not canon to Superman and Peacemaker. Okay, so I'm not actually what they're actually 2 completely different things. You idiot. First season of Peacemaker is it's good. So it's written and directed. It's entirely written by James Gunn. He directs most of the episodes. So this is a real deal, James Gunn venture. Yeah. It's good. It's enjoyable. It is a James Gunn special. It's in a way, even though obviously the Cena character is central to it, it's kind of like a mini Suicide Squad story. You got a bunch of your oddball real world comic book characters you've never heard of before coming together. They got to tackle a bizarre threat that's like, beneath the level of the Justice League. There is over the top violence. There is a fun licensed 80s rock soundtrack. There's swear words. There's comedy, and there's a dysfunctional team mechanic at the core of it that gradually gets better over the course. And like most Gunn projects, I think it works. Not all the individual parts click necessarily, but it coalesces quite well on the whole. It's a very fun season of TV, and I'm going to watch the second one. But one thing I did think was one of the elements that I thought its weakness stood out more in a TV show versus a movie is the comedy. And I kind of realized I haven't found a lot of James Gunn stuff really hilarious, like post Guardians 1.
Right.
Guardians 2, I didn't really think I actually thought it was actively unfunny and really took that movie down for me. Guardians 3 was great, but I wouldn't say it was necessarily funny. Didn't like the Christmas special. Really liked his Suicide Squad movie. It was kind of funny, but I do think the humor is kind of a bit of a weak element in his things. And this is 8 episodes of a show that if I was to stick one genre on it first, I would say it is a comedy. It's got some action and some sci-fi in there, but it is kind of a lots of banter, lots of, that John Cena character. If you've seen that movie, The Suicide Squad, it's that character interacting with a bunch of other people. I think the big thing holding it back is that it's not especially funny. It's a lot of sort of annoyingly dumb characters taking, kind of funnily enough, acting a lot like Drax, taking euphemisms literally, and then other characters go, no, you fucking idiot, that's not what I mean. It's a lot of that, and it wouldn't be as much of a problem if it didn't feel like the show was a comedy first. It does feel like the show was a comedy first, so it's a pretty big problem that a lot of the jokes you're just going, oof. I'm kind of just waiting for these jokes to kind of be over so that the plot can keep moving forward, which I think is interesting. I like the characters, like the performances. The action scenes are quite good. It's only 8 episodes as well, which is relatively breezy. You got Robert Patrick in there as John Cena's dad, which is a great bit of casting. He plays a kind of basically like a white supremacist superhero from like the 60s who Cena's character, he's basically, he's kind of a secret villain in the movie. This movie, first of all, retcons his death from the movie to him being alive, and then also it's kind of like, but we're going to try and redeem him a little bit because people seem to like this character, so we're going to make him a hero. Cena's pretty good in it, I would say. I haven't enjoyed a lot of Cena lately, but he was quite good in this. Really good supporting cast. Danielle Brooks is fantastic in it. She's great in everything. Yeah, good, solid. I'm kind of between that though and some of the other recent Gunn projects, including Superman. I'm kind of thinking like, I think he needs like a good like comedy right hand man. I think he needs to be part of a writing team. Because it really hit me as I was watching this. I was like, hey, this isn't very funny. I was like, I didn't really laugh during Superman. Actively disliked Guardians 2. Like, I have liked some of his comedy in the past, but it's increasingly feeling way in the past. So that was Peacemaker. That was good. And then fresh off its clean up at the Emmys, I did finally start The Pitt. Which first 2 episodes, great, hooked. Can't wait to watch more. But very intense. I can really tell it's going to be one of those ones where it's going to be tough to get yourself in the mood to sit down and watch it, even though it is great. But yeah, really enjoying it. Really, really enjoying it. I can kind of 2 episodes in, I can already kind of see the hype. I can see where everyone's coming from. So yeah, I'm going to keep watching that as the weeks tip on. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. What about you boys? What have you been watching this week?
Ooh, banging old episode of Taskmaster, Joe. You watch it?
Yes.
The season is doing it for me.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it, but I'm pretty sure it's good.
I remember Reece Shearsmith had the most creative take a thing out of a bag. I mean, in terms of the all-time creative tasks,
yes,
I mean, that's right up there. They're very.
That was good.
But yeah, I think I am really enjoying everyone on this season.
All good eggs.
All good eggs. I did see as well that the season 21 cast leaked. I won't, if anybody listening doesn't know it, I won't spoil it here, but it has leaked. Interesting cast for next season, I will say that. I'm going to hang on for next year. You can do that. But very much enjoying this season. I think everybody on it is great. Even the new people who I didn't really know that well, I think they're great on it. So this is like 2 seasons for me, back to back, 19 and 20 bangers so far. So that was great. Also, Beavis and Butthead. So fucking good.
Oh, really good.
Dear me. I mean, you remember, again, I'm going to directly compare Beavis and Butthead to South Park and why Beavis and Butthead in its simplicity is so good and why South Park has kind of overthought even its like dumb jokes and kind of why it's bad. So I did talk about the other week about the various takes on AI, right? And how Beavis and Butthead doing an AI was far funnier than South Park's take on AI. Similar thing this week. You recall South Park a few weeks ago did the Get a Nut thing where they said the character Mackie was I need to get a nut. So here you had the Beavis and Butthead nut joke. So Beavis works out, or Beavis sent to the store to get nachos for Butthead. Comes back, couldn't get the nachos. We've got these mixed nuts. Starts eating them, and his face starts swelling up, and he has a very obvious allergic reaction. Goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, "You're allergic to nuts. You can't have any more nuts." And of course, Beavis understands that to mean, and comedy ensues.
Oh,
so
that's all you need.
And Beavis is walking down the corridor at school, and the girls are like putting stuff in the locker, and he's looking. He goes, "Don't even look, Butthead, or don't even look, Beavis. It's not worth it." It's so fun. Beavis and Butthead. It's fucking great. I don't tell you. Mike Judge has done it. He's done it again. I need to watch King of the Hill. So I really, really enjoy all of Mike Judge's.
Yeah.
I haven't mentioned it every week, but I'm still working through that. It's funny. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I think Mike Judge is funny.
Judgy has a great track record when you look at it over the last 25 years. He's gone undefeated for the most part. So well done to him.
Yeah. So I mean, Beavis Butthead can be a bit hit and miss as well. But when it hits, it has me crying, laughing, as this episode. So check out Beavis and Butthead. I think the episode is called Nuts. Super funny stuff.
Oh dear. Alrighty. On the Game Guff side of things, I've just kind of been playing the Switch 2 stuff I talked about last week, more of the same of that.
Yeah.
I did, since it is free on our, I did check out that new Skate, the new EA Skate game, which is in early access now. Were you a Skate guy back in the day?
No. I was a big Tony Hawk's Pro Skater guy right up until, I want to say Underground 2 was the last one I played. But no, I never got into Skate. I think I was too hard-coded in kind of the arcadey Tony Hawk style, and Skate's kind of more realism never really appealed to me.
I was the same. I was not a Skate guy at all. I tried to play very briefly back in its heyday, but it just wasn't my type of thing. Like, this is free, so I said I'd give it a look. I kind of like how it feels more than I did back in the day. It feels very similar to that. Again, I think to your point, it's not arcadey. So I'd say if anyone's on the fence about it, if you're like a Tony Hawk guy or bust, it's not going to change your mind. I kind of like how it feels. I'm going to stick with it for a little while. The big barrier is that this is the most free-to-play game of all time. There are like 10 different currencies, and it's not even a case of like there's 10 because they're charging you for them. It's not even that. It's kind of like you grind this one, you buy chips, which buy you tokens. Tokens get you a box. You open a box, you get a hat. It's one of those, it's one of those, which is not what this game ever was back in the day. And I'm not super into that. It's early access, there, which EA doesn't do very often. So maybe they'll tweak it. Maybe they'll change the model. I don't know. But as solid as it feels, I think it does feel solid. It's very you're skating around in like a plain white tee and jeans because it takes you hours to earn enough stuff to get a loot box that contains one item every time you get a box. It's crazy. Again, I'm not a big Skate guy, but I was asking our mutual friend Woody, and he was similarly kind of like, oof, he would, I would have considered him in the camp of people that would have been waiting for the news of a new Skate, and it seems like those people are the ones who are most put off and disappointed with this new one. But it's early days, we'll see. But yeah, other than that, just kind of the Switch 2 thing I'm playing the most is Tears of the Kingdom by far.
Good game.
Which is a fucking great game. That's been gobbling up a lot of my time. So there you go.
Yeah, I'm still on Death Stranding. I think I've hit the point now where the game kind of starts go. So, old Troy Baker's showed up finally. I've got the little truck thing. I'm not using my little tricycle anymore. Mm-hmm. And now I'm starting to feel a bit more of a progression. Like I say, I must be 9-10 hours in, and the first 8 hours does feel like not only the first area being the tutorial, but even the first like 4 missions of Australia feel like a continuation of that. And then you fight a big mech boss with like tentacle arms, and now it feels like, okay, this is actually start point for the game to in terms of the storyline of the game to start moving. So yeah, I have the little truck. I love the little, like, every delivery you do, you unlock like 3 cool new things. So getting to experiment with those. I told the story last week about my tranquilizer sniper rifle and how that didn't quite work as I expected to. But excited to use the truck a little bit. I got to use a monorail for the first time.
I put monorails in Death Stranding 1 and I put them on the map.
But yes, this week I should get to spend a bit more time playing that. Oh, I forgot to talk about TV. Sorry, I have one more TV show. I started watching Mobland again.
Oh yes, yeah, the Tom Hardy,
With
Brosnan.
Tom Hardy, Pierce Brosnan, and I can't remember the character's name for some reason. Helmer. 2025. Where is it airing? Paramount Plus.
Yes.
Which in the name of transparency, I also pirate. Very good. Very good. So I'm nearly halfway through that first season. Very much enjoying it. I'm not one who watches a lot of crime dramas, to be honest. There might be better ones out there. I know, Barry, were you watching Kin?
I just squeezed an episode in before this very broadcast.
So I'm not someone who's... I've never watched The Sopranos, for God's sake. So I'm not someone who's really versed in crime drama a lot. But Mobland is a good little introductory season of TV for that, because it's got good forward momentum. It's got fuckers being killed. It's got Pierce Brosnan doing a funny accent. It's got everything you could possibly want. So I'm enjoying it so far. Guy Ritchie, I think, involved in it as well. Does Guy Ritchie direct some of the episodes? He does. So very good, very good.
Yeah, Mobland seems to be getting... I thought, because there was all that talk about Brosnan's accent and everything else, and ahead of release, seems like once it came out, people were... That was the... Oh, sorry, you're looking at... Oh, hang on, let me look at the art.
Reminds me of Friends, of course.
Yes, very much. Yeah.
Where did you get that picture of Moxie's head from?
Anyway, very much. I think I might add Mobland to the list based on your review.
10 eps, and they're like the last one I watched was like 45, so they're not crazy long either.
And that's going to do it for Teleguff, and that's going to do it for the pod this week. Hope you folks enjoyed. ChairShotPodcast.com is where you can go to pop us an email. It's where you can go to check out the Fantasy League standings in real time as well. We'll be back next week with the All Out Fallout and any other news. We'll get to talk about the big announcement, most importantly. So look forward to
Tony
that.
Khan's got a new hat.
Got a new hat. We will be back to discuss the new hat in due course. So, with all that said, it is goodbye, and thank you very much for listening. It's goodbye from me, Barry. It's goodbye from Paul.
Goodbye.
It's goodbye from Joe.
Goodbye.
One last thing before we finish. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are finished, but one last thing. I had a thought as well during the main event. I talked about the Fletcher Don Callis stipulations, right? Mm-hmm. I had a second thought. It was about MJF cashing in his championship shot. I know Tony Khan clarified it has to be cashed in advance thing, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking the match ends, or this again. I was thinking it was during the match, obviously, but I was thinking match ends. MJF comes out with the contract, and we go, "What the fuck?" He has to cash that in a month in advance. This Hanger wins the title, and then we see on the screen of Dynamite this week, we saw MJF go into Tony Khan's office and then have an argument, but we only saw it from the outside. And then you see the footage from inside. MJF goes in from inside his jacket pocket. He pulls out the contract. Tony, he gives it to Tony and then leaves. I was thinking that'd be, an interesting, I mean, okay, granted it would be a cheap Money in the Bank cash in, which we want to get away from, but I was thinking, that might be a clever thing. But I was thinking, but then Tony Khan has to be complicit in it for some reason. It doesn't make any sense. But that was something I was thinking, the fact that we only heard that argument, we never saw it. Maybe there's something there. Obviously there wasn't, but something that crossed my mind.
I think that's an interesting idea.
It would be a weird Tony Khan heel turn, but right, very good stuff. Now, no pressure to me, but you've said how good it is for people to have one day, so I want to get editing, I suppose.
Get to work, son.